Welcome back to Rough Around the Edges. The AGON for this week is to perform the Army Ground Forces test. This test was implemented back in 1942 during World War II, and it involves, reading this straight from the website, involved a battery of 5 events: squat jump, sit-up, pull-ups, push-ups, and a 300-yard run. The emphasis was on functional fitness and giving American GIs the strength, mobility, and endurance that they would need to tackle real tasks on the battlefield. So this is a good marker of where your fitness levels are at and where you can improve. We do this 4 times a year, plus once for strength games, and it's a really good marker. First exercise we're going to do is pull-ups. So hanging at full length from the bar with our arms straight, we'll be using a forward grip, not a chin up, but a pull up. Pull until the chin is above the level of the bar, and then lower the body until the elbows are completely straight. So to score this event, each time the chin is above the bar in correct form, he's given 1 pull-up. He's not credited with a pull-up if he fails to raise the chin above the level of the bar or if he stops to rest. If the performer does not straighten his arms at the bottom of the movement, or if he kicks or jerks or kips, only half a pull-up will be counted. If there are 4 half pull-ups, the performer will be stopped and retested later. If the performer starts to swing, the judge will stop the swinging with his arms, and they will continue the test. And shock or magnesium can be used to help with grip during this test. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Next exercise is a squat jump. Squatting on the right heel with fingers laced on top of the head, palms down. Feet are 4 to 6 inches apart, with the heel of one foot on a line with the toes of the other foot. Spring upward until both knees are straight and both feet clear the ground. Jump just enough to permit straightening the knees without touching the ground. Do not jump any higher than necessary to accomplish this purpose. Keeping the upper body erect while off the ground, reverse the position of the feet. Then drop to a squat on the other heel, keeping the knees pointed forward. Spring up again and continue for as many repetitions as possible. The most common errors are getting the feet too far forward and back. So kind of silly, but before beginning the event, the men should be told that if this exercise requires courage almost to the same extent as it requires strength and endurance, and if they should not give up until they cannot move, make another movement. So this is a really tough exercise, but let's get into it. Alrighty, next exercise is push-ups. The performer assumes the front-leaning rest while the body straight from head to heels. His palms are directly beneath the shoulders and the elbows are straight, fingers pointed forward. If there's no judge, you bring your chest until it touches the ground. If there is a judge, he will lay his hand on the ground. Keep lower body until chest touches the ground. Elbows must point directly to the rear. Return to the original position by straightening the elbows, keeping the entire body straight. The performer is credited with 1 push-up each time his arms are completely straightened and the exercise is performed in acceptable form. There is no penalty for your hips being slightly out of line if the whole body is moving upwards at the same speed. The men may proceed but may not stop to rest. If a man violates any of the instructions given above, he is credited with half a push-up. When the performer is no longer able to hold correct form, the test is terminated. So the next exercise is sit-ups, which is a little different than the normal sit-ups. Instead of your knees being bent, you leave them flat on the ground, and then you sit up and twist, bringing the opposite elbow to the opposite knee, and then switching other elbow to other knee. This one is a 2-minute timed event where a rest can be taken. This one's a little difficult to me. I always end up getting a Charlie horse in my abs during this. Let's get started. For this last test, since it's summer, we're going to be doing the 300-yard shuttle run. So it's a course of 60 yards is laid out on flat level ground, and you run back and forth on those 60 yards, so 5 times to equal 300 yards. They have you, or they want you to set up a course where you're running back and forth in between different spikes in the ground. But just to make it easier, a lot of us will just run back and forth 60 yards around points. Alrighty, so when you're done, you'll take all your scores and all your times, and you'll check them on this score sheet. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, you can do hard things.